Okay, we are streaming now. Shannon, you can put us on the record.
Okay.
This is a matter of Robinson versus Taylor. Mr. Donahoe is here for the plaintiff. Ms. McCluskey for the defendant. Both parties are present. And we've got a few witnesses present as well. I'm not sure whether they can all hear me, but we'll make sure they can before they get called. So, Mr. Donahoe, you had a preliminary question for the court?
Yes, Your Honor. Since the last hearing was October 19th of last year, I was able to download the video for that this afternoon and listen to direct examination of the plaintiff, or the defendant rather, and part of my client's testimony as well. I was wondering if the court would like me to be able to cross-examine the defendant and then direct examine my client, or any other way the court would like.
Well, what I was planning to do is I wanted to hear from the defendant first, because obviously a lot of time has transpired and I want to make sure I have current facts to deal with. There's no need to repeat whatever was covered before, but I want to make sure if there's been any change in circumstances or any new information relevant to the best interest factors that be developed. So I don't know, Ms. McCluskey, if you were prepared to offer additional testimony from your client, but I would give you that opportunity to do so now. When Mr. Donahoe cross-examines her, he will be free to cross-examine her both on whatever new testimony she provides today, but any questions prompted by his review of her testimony back in October. I think that way we make sure we cover everything.
Okay.
Sounds good, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine, Your Honor. We won't repeat. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, that's good. All right, we'll start with Ms. Rachel Taylor. It's been a long time. I'm going to go ahead and put you back under oath again. Would you raise your right hand, please? You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your full name, please.
Rachel Ann Taylor.
Go ahead, Ms. McCluskey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Taylor, so the court, I'm sure, reviewed or made good notes of your previous testimony, so we won't take any testimony that you previously provided, but I'd like to ask you some questions about circumstances since we were in court in October, okay?
Okay.
So since that time, has any new information arisen regarding your motion, or have there been any challenges with parenting time and custody?
Yes, there has.
Okay. And how, can you go ahead and explain those to the court?
So, and there's been quite a few things, like Edward meeting me still. He doesn't do that all the time. My sister is still driving to Jackson to pick him up.
And the court did order a meeting location. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And where was that location again?
In between, it's at a park and ride or something in Ann Arbor.
Okay. And Mr. Robinson has not been complying with that?
No, my sister still drives to Jackson to pick him up. He, on Camden's birthday, that was my weekend to have him, and he did not allow me to have him. I got him the following weekend, but he switches up my weekends when he feels like, or when he wants to. Let me see. I mean, I keep track of everything. I write it in a journal. He's.
If you need to, if that would help refresh your memory, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so he switched my weekend on me. On his birthday, he did give me a few extra days for spring break, even though I'm entitled to that. It's in the FOC handbook that I get that, but he still keeps it as every other weekend. Let me see. I know like when Camden was dropped off to him, one time it was stated that Camden was asking him to stay and wanting to come back with me, and Edward got upset about it, so he told Camden that he was gonna stay in the parking lot by himself, that he was gonna have Abby leave and he was gonna leave him there. Let me see. So I got back on my scheduled weekend on the 7th of May.
Did Mr. Robinson make any comments to you about the parenting time or why you were not getting your ordered parenting time?
I don't talk to him, but at that time he stated it wasn't my weekend. He stated it wasn't my weekend because he gave me extra time with him, which, like I said, I was entitled to because it was spring break. He did have her come get him yesterday from Jackson, stating that he was going to let me keep him for a week due to it being summer break. But I know I'm entitled to even time on summer break. So he's acting like he's doing me a favor and he's not.
Have you historically got any parenting time during summer with Camden?
Have I ever?
Yeah.
No, it's always been just every other weekend. I don't get him for holidays. I don't get him for any breaks. Like, and then last time, of course, you are already aware that I didn't even get him for Christmas or, for a few months. So he's always just denying me my parenting time. And, my Camden's the one that suffers from it.
So fair to state that there are a lot of challenges with your parenting time schedule.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anything changed with your circumstances in your life or with work or anything like that since we were here in October?
No.
Okay. And again, so it sounds like, so now 2 days from now, you'll be 5 years sober. Is that correct?
That's correct. Okay.
And still have the same position and job that you testified to in October?
Correct.
Okay. Any other updates that you'd like the court to be aware of since you testified in October?
No.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. I have no further questions at this time, Your Honor. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mr. Donahoe.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Taylor,
Yep.
you testified back in October that there was some domestic violence. Has there been any updates on that case since then?
Yep, we're still going to court because he wants a jury trial, I think it is. So we're still in the process of going to court for that.
So he has not been convicted of anything at this time?
Not at this time.
And you also testified back in October that there were several punches thrown by him. Is that what you said back then?
That's correct.
But it seems that on the police report, it says there were no marks found on you. Can you explain why that was?
Because he was hitting me in the back of my head and on the top of my head because I was protecting myself, trying to lean in so he couldn't hit me.
Did you seek any medical attention for those?
No, I didn't.
Did you suffer any long-term injury from those? Any headaches or anything?
No.
Okay.
What happened, my kid suffered because he was in the vehicle with me. That's who I was more concerned about.
Okay. Now, you also gave some testimony about Mr. Robinson's lack of stability, I think is the way you put it. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And one of the things you pointed out was that he didn't always have the same place to live. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And that he left your child with various individuals, some which you knew, some you didn't. Is that correct?
Yes.
Have you yourself ever had to leave your child with a babysitter?
Yes.
And do you do that on a regular basis because of work?
I only get him on weekends, so no, unless I get him on like today he's with my sister. So yeah, but she's safe.
Okay, okay. And both your kids are with her at this point. Is that correct?
My other child's at camp.
Oh, okay. Okay. I think that's all I really had for cross-examination. I just wanted to clear up those issues. So that's all I have, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Any redirect, Ms. McCluskey?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Did you have any other witnesses you wanted to present, Ms. McCluskey?
Just one additional witness, and that would be Miss Sarah Taylor. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Sarah Taylor, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
You can put your hand down. State your full name, please.
Sarah Jane Taylor.
Go ahead, Ms. McCluskey.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss Taylor, can you tell the court how you know the parties here today?
Well, I know my sister for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And
so you are indeed her sister. Okay.
Yeah, I know Edward from being with my sister Rachel and having a baby. I mean, that's how we met. I know him in other ways too that my sister was unaware of.
Okay. How long have you known Mr. Robinson?
Well, how old's Camden? 8 years?
6.
Okay.
6?
6.
6.
Right. So, okay.
Who am I
So you met
thinking
Mr.
of?
Robinson.
Nolan. Sorry.
Yeah.
You
So
guys
you
done
met
for
Mr. Robinson.
Y'all done? Y'all done for today?
You met-
Really?
Yeah, we can hear you. Lee.
Mr. Robinson, I'm going to mute you.
Okay.
And,
Go
and,
ahead.
and I'm sorry, and you, just to clarify, because I that cut out for me. So you met Mr. Robinson around the time Camden was born. That's correct.
Before Rachel was with him. I've known Eve from when she first got with him and was riding with him in the truck, and then she got pregnant. So yeah, like 7 years.
Okay. So, in Your Honor, I did previously provide a proposed exhibit to the court quite some time ago. And on that same day, I provided it to Mr. Robinson. So I would ask the court for permission to share my screen at this time.
You may do so.
Thank you. All right. So, Ms. Taylor, I'm going to show you what is marked as defendant's proposed exhibit A. And I'm just going to have you review and tell me if you recognize it. So give me 1 second. This is a little cumbersome sometimes. Okay. So, Mr. Robinson, are you able to see my screen?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Ms. Taylor. Are you able to see my screen, Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm sorry, okay, so I'm showing you the first of 7 pages that are marked as a proposed exhibit. And I'm going to scroll through these and then ask you if anything has changed. Do you recognize page?
Yes, I do. I'm reading text messages from my phone.
Do you recognize that page? Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And that contact that's listed, who is that?
That is Edward. That is.
Do you
from
recognize
my
that contact? Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So sorry, again, this is a little cumbersome because they're separate, but I'm going to scroll through. Has anything on that page changed that or been altered in any way that you can see?
No.
Does that look okay? So I'm going to scroll through the remaining pages and just let me know if you recognize them if anything has been altered. Do you see page 2? Oh,
Yep.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, go ahead.
You just broke up a little bit. Just proceed.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Thank you, Your Honor. Challenges of working from home. Has anything on page 3 been altered in any way that you
No.
can see?
No. Nope.
I'm looking at what's marked as page 2 on the exhibits you submitted.
Anything altered from page 4?
Ms. McCluskey?
Okay.
Ms. McCluskey, can you hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. When you asked her if anything was altered on page 3.
I can, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Well, I hadn't finished. I was going to ask you something. When you asked her if anything had been changed on page 3, the page that you had displayed on the screen share was actually page 2. So there seems to be some kind of a delay happening here. I'm not quite sure what the cause is.
Okay.
Why don't we, just to save time, well, I guess you need to go through each one individually, but whatever is on the screen is the one she needs to be responding to.
Your Honor, can the court hear me okay now?
I can now. You were breaking up pretty badly before.
Okay. I think it's the challenge of the screen sharing. Would the court prefer I can try to change an internet access or my Wi-Fi if that would help.
Yeah, I think whatever was going on, it was causing delays and breakups, and it wasn't coming through clearly.
Okay. Let's try again, and if that continues, I will log off very quickly and try to change my Wi-Fi. So I have page 3 up.
Right now, there's nothing being displayed.
Right, and Your Honor, so what I'm going to do, Ms. Taylor, I'm going to just scroll slowly enough that you can see these exhibits, and just let me know if anything has changed that you can tell on any of the pages, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That might be a little quicker. I think it's the screen sharing that's, okay. And again, these were provided to Mr. Robinson. Okay. Is everyone able to see screen? I'm sorry, page 3.
I can see it.
Are you able to see that? Am I glitching again? Okay. Ms. Taylor, anything change on that page?
No.
Okay. Same question for this page? Are you able to see that, Ms. Taylor?
Yeah, I'm reading it. Yep, and nothing's changed.
Okay. Okay. If no one objects, because we're streaming live on YouTube, I know everyone has a copy. If the court, I think it would be appropriate to skip page 5. I think
I don't
can
care. You can
authenticate
show it.
for the
You can
obvious
show it.
reasons.
I don't
Does
care. You can
anyone
show it.
object to that?
No objection.
Okay. 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 Gotcha. Thank you, Ms. Taylor. So I am showing page 5. Anything, does that look the same as when you provided it to my client?
The page hasn't changed on my end.
And we, okay. And 2 more pages, and then I'll ask you a few follow-up questions. Page 6, does that look the same as when you provided it to my client?
Ms. McCluskey, you still got page 4 on the display.
Yeah, they're not changing. I haven't seen the next page.
I think it's the delay. Would the court prefer I log off briefly and try a different Wi-Fi?
We can try that.
Okay. Sorry, this is a little cumbersome because they're screenshots and separate, but okay. Is the court able to hear me now?
Yes.
I can.
In this particular interest, since we're having difficulty with bandwidth, you probably don't need to, unless anyone objects, read through each thread. If you can just identify that there are screenshots that you did provide to my client, I think that would be appropriate. Okay. Okay, I'm back to page 4. Is everyone able to see that?
Yep.
Yes.
It is a screenshot. Has that been, not the conversation, but has that screenshot itself been altered in any way?
No.
Okay. And same this page.
Nope.
And page 6.
Nope.
And the last page, page 7, is that screenshot, has that been altered in any way?
Hasn't changed.
Sorry, that was a little cumbersome.
There we go.
Okay.
Nope, it's all the same.
Why should we? Okay. So just a couple of questions from that. So you did confirm that that was indeed Mr. Robinson's phone number on that first page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how do you recognize what I just showed you, those several pages?
It was a conversation between me and Edward.
Okay. And again, nothing, those screenshots were not altered in any way since that conversation happened. Is that correct?
No, I'm on there incriminating myself. So, I mean, you can see that nothing's.
Okay. And And how do you recognize those? Did you provide those to my client?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
She was unaware of the activities going on.
Okay. Your Honor, we would ask at this time that defendant's proposed Exhibit A be admitted evidence. And I'll further query my witness.
Response, Mr. Donahoe?
No objection, Your Honor.
Defense A is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. So obviously those pages have been admitted into evidence, so the court will be able to review the content, but could you explain to the court what the context of that text conversation was with Mr. Robinson?
The nature of the messaging was that I was prostituting for drugs, and basically he would provide me his home to come over and do my my clients, meet up with my clients there and perform my sexual acts, and then pay him is letting me use his place to stay.
Okay. And we can see that there's a date, a September 19th date, but you tell us what year that was?
What was it? Not last summer, the summer before.
Okay, so approximately the 2019, would that be correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What was he involved in any other way in this activity?
No, he just let me use his house and I'd pay him, and then that was it. What do you mean?
Okay. Well, it appears from the text that he's in some way arranging these meetings.
Yeah, he had men that wanted to meet up with me, but he wanted me to go for his price, and it was nowhere near enough of what I costed to for what the service I provided. And so we had gotten to a altercation due to that.
Okay. How long did that go on for, you using his home for this purpose?
Like a month.
Okay. And so was Camden ever present? Did you ever observe Camden in the house when you were there?
Yes. Camden was there, and when my clients were coming to meet me, I would walk down the road because I'd have them parked down the road and walk up with them, and he would take Camden on a walk and then come back. And there was a time he was early and had to sit out on the step, because you can't have a guy in there when you got another guy come, because then they think you're setting them up.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he had Camden, then the guys would leave, and he would have Camden and bring him back in the house. Camden would see, some of the guys leave, and then he would take money and supposed to go get changed, and he would go buy crack and come back and smoke it, and I would sit there with Camden.
Okay. So you did see some drug activity during that time as well?
Yes, and then also there was a couple of times that I was going to buy heroin from Eve, but I didn't know how potent it was.
Okay. So not only did you observe Mr. Robinson using drugs, you actually purchased drugs from him?
Yes.
Okay. And this was around the same time, the summer of 2019?
Yep.
Okay. So why did your relationship with Mr. Robinson end? Did he stop engaging in this behavior?
No, it was basically he was trying to control me with certain men, and then on top of that, I had gotten clean. Like
Okay.
I was trying to stop the lifestyle.
So fair to say that your relationship with him didn't end because he stopped partaking in those activities.
Right, correct.
Okay. And you, to be clear for the record, you're not doing anything. Are you using drugs or prostituting at this time?
Nope, I'm clean.
Okay. Did you have any other concerns with Mr. Robinson and Camden that you observed?
I had went to Leanne Crabtree's house. We were friends. We are friends. I don't know what she's going to say here today, but I love Leanne. And I know the courts know her. Leanne, you know, I know a different side of Leanne. She's a good person to me. Edward would leave Camden with Leanne. And I would go over there and she would, you know, even though she was on drugs, she was trying to, like, she had him out doing yard work, and was, you know, trying to keep him busy and, you know, basically out of the house, because the house that she lived at, I mean, there was a bunch of people in there high and twacked out, I mean, on methamphetamine and, you know, moving all around. So she kind of tried to protect him from it. And so he would leave Camden with her while he went and you know, would smoke crack or meet up with prostitutes. And, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, I know he loves Camden. You know, I just feel that he can't provide stability, and I'm scared for what Camden has already seen. And, you know, I just, I don't know. My heart is kind of crushed about all this, to be honest with you.
Okay.
You know, he does care about his education and things like that, but having people like Leanne and Amber Carr, when she was using, he leaves Camden with prostitutes all the time or at drug houses. And it's just not right. So yes, I observed Camden with Leanne.
Okay. How did you know that Miss Crabtree was under the influence when she was caring for Camden?
We'd used together.
Okay. Okay. Any other concerns or any last thoughts that you'd like the court to be aware of from your personal knowledge? Okay. I have no further questions for Ms. Sarah Taylor at this time. Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Taylor, just a clarification, you've made several references today to E. Can you confirm when you refer to E, who are you referring to?
Oh, I apologize, Judge. Edward Robinson. That's his street name is E.
I was pretty sure of that, but I wanted to make sure the record was complete. Go ahead, Mr. Donahoe.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Taylor, just one thing, I wanted to clarify that you stated that Camden was never inside the house while you were prostituting. Is that correct?
No, he had came in one time, and then I told him I opened the door and said I wasn't done, and he went back outside with them.
So he's kept
Camden
outside every occasion. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, for the most part.
Okay. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor. Any further witnesses, Ms. McCluskey?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Donahoe.
Yes, Your Honor, if you don't mind, I would like to take Miss Leanne Crabtree first and then go to my client. Would that be all right?
That's fine with me.
Okay, then I call Leanne Crabtree.
Ms. Crabtree, would you raise your right hand, please?
Yep.
You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down. Just state your full name, please.
Leanne Rosanna Crabtree.
Go ahead, Mr. Donahoe.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Crabtree, can you tell the court, please, how you know Edward Robinson?
That is the father to one of my children.
And have you ever watched his other child, the child Camden that we're talking about today?
Yes, I have.
In your interactions with Mr. Robinson, both with Camden and your mutual son, have you ever known Mr. Robinson to be a bad parent in any way?
No,
And does he seem to care for his child, both children, equally well?
all of his children, yes.
Have you ever had any domestic violence with Mr. Robinson?
No, I have not.
Do you think that Mr. Robinson is a good parent?
Yes, I do.
Can you tell the court if he uses any type of physical punishment against the children?
No, not that I know of. No.
What kind of punishment have you seen him use?
Actually, honestly, I haven't really seen him use any, pretty much when Edward says something to him, Camden pretty much listens, and that's because that's as
So
much
they're-
as I know. So
So you're saying then that they're well-behaved children?
pretty much, yeah. Camden is a very good child. Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything about Mr. Robinson that you would like the court to know regarding his parenting ability or anything else that you've heard today in court?
I just want to say, Edward is a very good father. Everybody goes through trials and tribulations, and he busts his butt, to keep that kid. He's had him since he's been born. I'm not sure what's going on with him and Rachel or what had happened when they had split up. But I know that she had left Camden with him, and I think it would break Camden's heart if he had to be away from his father. I know that when he goes with his mom, he has a lot of free leisure time. He's like, like pretty much he can do what he wants, and he has structure at home with Edward. Edward is very structured. He has certain things that, time for bed, a time to play, a time to, do schoolwork and stuff like that. And he's very structured there with Edward. And I know it would break Edward's heart if anything was ever to happen between him and Camden.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I have for this witness.
Questions, Ms. McCluskey?
Just a few. Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Crabtree, you indicated that Mr. Robinson, you share a child with Mr. Robinson. Is that correct?
Yes, I do.
What's that child's name?
Grayson.
And how old is that child?
I missed that name. I'm sorry. Could you say it again?
Grayson.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch it that time either. Let's try it one more time.
Grayson.
Ray Sean, thank you.
And how old is that? That's a son. Is that correct?
It is Grayson.
Great, Sean.
With
And
a-
how old is that son?
4.
Okay. Do you or Mr. Robinson currently have custody of your son?
No. Edward did not have a say so in the matter. When I had the child, I gave the child up for adoption, a planned adoption. He was not informed until after.
Okay, so neither of you have custody to that son at this point.
No, not at this point. No.
And when you say you gave the child up for adoption, was that at birth?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so that was not through an abuse and neglect proceeding, is that correct?
No.
But you've had quite an extensive CPS history. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah. Yep.
And have you had any? Have your parental rights been terminated to any of your children in the past?
Section, Your Honor. I don't think that's relevant. We're not asking about her parenting abilities. We're asking about my clients.
Well, there was testimony that she helps watch Camden, so I think it is relevant. Overruled.
And
Yeah,
go ahead. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many children?
I have 3 that have been taken from me.
Okay.
I have 6 children altogether.
Gotcha. And have you been in this specific court with those children? If you remember. Actually, in the interest of that, Your Honor, we would ask the court take judicial notice of its own file. That would be 14-0458 NA.
I will do that.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. And so, Ms. Crabtree, moving on, do you use any substances?
Not anymore. I am 4 months clean. Actually, a little over 120 days clean.
Okay. Have you observed Mr. Robinson using any substances?
No.
Never?
No. Well, no, not actually. No. Weed, yeah. I've
So
seen some, but I don't go down there like that. We don't, I don't partake in his home like that.
So you've never used drugs with Mr. Robinson? Is that your testimony?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So you've never seen anything of concern in that home when Camden is there?
No.
Okay. How often would you say you care for Camden?
Maybe a couple times down at my home. He came and went to the store a couple times and left Camden at my house. And I don't watch him like that. It's not like I'm a full-time babysitter or nothing. I mean, it's like maybe I got to run down and go grab the laundry. You think you can keep an eye on Camden for a minute, something like that.
Okay. But Camden was just dropped off at your house just within the past few days, was he not?
No, he was not.
You have not cared for Camden in the last month?
No, I have not.
Okay. When Mr. Robinson drops Camden off with you, does he tell you where he's going?
Yes, he does.
Okay. And I'm sorry, this is repetitive. I know you said you are 4 months clean. Were there ever periods of you being sober in the past?
In the past, yeah. Not many.
Okay.
No.
I have no further questions for this witness, Your Honor. Thank you.
Any redirect, Mr. Donahoe?
None, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So let me unmute Mr. Robinson. I'm assuming you want to call him next.
That is correct, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Robinson, I'm sorry I had to mute you because there's a lot of background noise.
Yeah. I'm at changing shifts here. Changing shifts at work here, Your Honor.
All right. Can we be quiet now for you to testify?
Yes, let me get in my personal vehicle right now.
Well, he muted himself. I don't know if that was just so he could get to his car.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to my personal vehicle here. Let me get inside of here.
All right, we'll wait till.
One second, I don't want to be for anything. One second here. Okay, I'm all set.
You're all set?
Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Good.
All right. Would you raise your right hand, please? You do swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
State your full name.
Edward Ray Robinson.
Go ahead, Mr. Donahoe.
Thank you. Mr. Robinson, how old are you?
I am 57 years old.
And how many children do you have?
8.
8 children.
Yes, I do.
How many children do you have custody of right now?
One and a half.
What's the half?
I'm actually in the process of getting custody of my daughter. We just switched over the other day. Last week in court, we just switched over to a new program to get reintegrated into my home.
Wonderful, wonderful news. Can you tell the court? It was asked of you way back in October. A little bit about your mental and physical health. Can you tell the court if you're healthy, basically?
I don't have any health issues. Mental or physical. I wear corrective lenses. That's it.
Corrective lenses, okay. And so you're not restricted in any way from caring for your kid?
Absolutely not.
And where do you work currently?
I'm an independent contractor. I currently work at Lester Brothers Excavations, Jackson, Michigan. Grass Lake, Michigan, I say.
Okay. And how long have you been there?
I've been here for about 6 months in this particular job. I just left Stone Transport out of Saginaw, Michigan prior to that.
How long were you there?
I was with Stone for a year.
Okay.
And then school started up, so I had to get home so I could I take him to school and pick him up personally. I don't let him ride the bus. I take him personally and pick him up, and teacher-parent conferences and stuff, I have to be present. Okay.
So that was one of my other questions. His appointments and everything, you're able to get him to everything he needs to go to?
I'm at every single one. I've actually submitted the records from his medical, from his pediatrician he's been seeing since he's been 2 months old, from the church we've been attending since he's been 2 years old, from his school he's been attending since he's been 2 years old, from the principal, from the YMCA that we attend on a regular basis, and we have membership there for 4 years. Those documents have already been submitted.
Okay, so what do you do at the YMCA together?
Everything. Everything. I take the kids on Sundays usually, him and my great niece and nephew were actually just done the safety around water course there.
Mm-hmm.
Last weekend we done that. We're attending the zoo next weekend. We had an event this Friday, but I had invited Rachel and them to have a week with him during the summer. They didn't respond for 5 days. They just not responded yesterday, so I didn't deny them. I said, well, she said she just seen, her sister said she finally just seen the text message 5 days ago that I offered the child to them for the summer. She finally just seen it yesterday and said she would come get him. So that's why she drives to Jackson, because she volunteered to come pick him up. Okay, and then the other time she comes, I financially provide her the money because my truck got totaled out in the front end during this meeting that we had ordered by the court. I got hit during a roundabout, right the roundabout there, and they knocked my headlights off. And sometimes when it gets dark, I can't commute back home. So me and her sister have made an agreement where she would bring him and I would pay her for it. And she said never had a problem. She never complained to me about it at all.
Okay. And is there any other thing that you'd like to do with your son?
We interact, do everything. We just started doing some of the different video games, the old school video games like Pac-Man and stuff. I don't let him do too much. Gadget time is what I consider. We do a lot of right now he's being challenged in his learning abilities with the school. He won't focus on one task due to his mother's meth addiction. He's borderline ADHD, which I refuse to medicate him. I'd rather just try to do the extra time at home with him myself. And then the teacher has actually incorporated stuff for him to do during the summer. I got packets at home that I'm going to work with him continuously with while he's doing summer break. He's not just going to have a summer vacation. We do a little schooling. I actually just sent with Abby, his auntie, yesterday. I just texted her actually today and reminded her to make sure that he reads one book a day and then go back over it with her and explain what he read and what he understood of the book. She said she would do it. That was just today.
Okay, so you've got a pretty good plan in place then for his education.
I keep a plan in place. I don't do his homework like Rachel does for her other son. I don't do it. He does it. He does his own schoolwork.
So I was going to ask you, how is his grades doing then?
He's fair, but like I say, he's challenged. I've already expressed that to the school when I enrolled him. And the teachers have a one-on-one relationship. We actually text back and forth I check on him during the week to find out how he's doing in class, if he's having a rough day or whatnot. I want to know how he's doing. Mr. DuBois, the principal, knows me personally. I'm always there. He's actually submitted a letter. I go in and talk to him to find out how his progress is making in school. We've had him flashcards made with 2-letter words, 3-letter words, which I incorporate when I send him on his weekend visits with Rachel and them and ask them to help me along with his education so we can keep, working with him together. And he comes back home and tells me he played, he went to the water park, he went to the motel, went to a jacuzzi, and this and that. and the other. I said, well, okay, that's what you choose to do. It was only 48 hours, so he deserves to just have some fun for 48 hours. That's what they choose to do. That's fine with me.
And that brings up another question regarding your communication with Rachel. How do you view your ability to co-parent with her?
I can't, because she's actually put me in jail for 13 days for trying to give her my son. She went and told the judge that we have a domestic, where I give her the son at Dollar General, what she was complaining to the courts about. Well, this is what brought all this about. She was writing complaints but she wasn't getting her visitation. She wasn't getting them because she had a PP order. I had a no contact, a domestic. I tried to be kind. After my sister and them said, why don't you give her a kid? I said, I can't have contact. They said, come on, man. Just meet her somewhere neutral. Met her at Dollar General. We go to court for the domestic. She tells the judge, I go to jail for 13 days, lose my bond. She laughs that off and tells the judge, yeah, he's got custody of the kid for now. So he's constantly playing games with my freedom, trying to get my son. And this is the type of stuff they do. I lost 13 days of work. My son lost 13 days of school. I got out of jail, went and got my son from Flint. I had to stay up there in Flint 9 hours while the police sent me around to this police department, that police department, this police department, before they decided to call her and have her bring my son to the county jail to get my son back when I got out of jail. And she thought that was funny. Everything's a joke to them.
You did get him back eventually.
I got him that night. I had a court order for him, and Mr. LaFlamme gave me that order, and I went and got him as soon as I got out of jail. But I had to run around with the court because I had no contact with her. So I had to go to the sheriff's department, the city police department, the state police department. Nobody wanted to get involved. They said it was a court matter. I had all the documents from Mr. LaFlamme on my dashboard, and I finally got one sergeant to listen to me, and he said, I'm going to give her a call and have her bring her down here. You stay over there. He said, I'll bring your son to the car, and he did. He brought my son to the car.
Okay. Do you ever speak negatively about Rachel in front?
No, absolutely not. No, I encourage Rachel to participate with him or whatnot, and I've done that from day one. I encourage her to spend more time with him. Rachel was obligated to her job 6 days a week, 8-10 hours a week. And like I said, her sister watches her kids. She don't have time for her own kids. She just got finally. You know, she's always at work. I'm the out of the house. She got to participate with her peers, and you know, she don't have time. She's at work 6 days a week. Her sister has the kids. It's like she got them now. Abby had both kids yesterday when she came. She has both kids when she comes out all the time. I voiced that concern to Abby. I said, Abby, I want you guys to have him sometime for the summer, but he's not your responsibility. I would feel bad sending him up there for a week, and you have to watch him because Rachel has to work all the time. And she said, well, no, they went to the jacuzzi or something last week. And I said, well, that was good. He did tell me that. That was good. You know,
So that brings me back to your question of work again. Rachel has testified that, or rather, yes, Rachel has testified that she works, and you're testifying that you work a lot. Do you work close to home now?
I am. I'm on my way home now. I'm leaving right now. I'm independent contractor. I leave. Are you ready? Yeah. So
you're not driving truck. You're not on the road or anything.
I do drive a truck. I do excavation right here locally. I go home when I get ready. I'm in a truck right now in Grass Lake on East Michigan Ave. I live right down the road. I'm on my way home now.
You're not an over-the-road driver or anything?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Now, there's also been questioning and testimony about the domestic violence case. Can you update the court on what that is doing right now?
It's a false allegation that, like you said, you've seen the police report. The police report is the foundation of any criminal case. Rachel alleged this domestic. I am a black man, 6'2", 207 pounds. Rachel is a Caucasian female. The police report says she has no visual marks at all. I never touched Rachel. Never. Rachel kicked me. This is one of her ploys again to try to get my job.
So you're saying that this is a continuing theme?
This her sister thing, or however they got my number on them text messages, that is my phone number. However they did that, you can do so much with computers today. They're good. They're good. They're good. I don't know why. Me and her sister don't even talk. Me and Sarah don't even have a relationship like that. Sarah's never liked me from day one. I don't even know Sarah like that. I don't even know. You hear the sarcasm now? I don't even do it. It's too immature. I don't even do stuff like that. You know, they need to grow up. She don't even have her kid. She don't even have her kid. She lost her kid.
No, I didn't.
All right, Ms. Taylor, you can't speak up.
Yeah, I'm gonna be quiet, but I don't even know how to audit anything.
This is what they do.
I got
the
This is what they do. I don't deal with them.
Okay, let's go back to the question.
Okay.
Do you believe that you're the morally fit person to be the main parent in Camden's life?
Absolutely. I've been there from day one. When she walked away and threw me in the trash can and traded him for a penis and some meth. Yes, I do. I've been there from day one. All of his appointments, I've invited her to participate in his doctor's appointments, to participate in his school appointments. She does not want to come. I've always open invitation. I just invited all of them to his birthday. I asked him, could the other children participate? Matter of fact, I text Sarah's phone, the one that's giggling in the background, and invite them all. They've never attended one of his birthdays. I told them they don't have to like me. Love him. That's your sibling. You don't have to like me. Love your sibling. None of them attend. None of them responded to his birthday.
Does Camden get along with his other siblings?
Pardon me?
Does Camden get along with his other siblings?
One more time, I got cut out there.
Yeah, does Camden get along with his other brothers?
Oh yeah, his brother's a bully. I've actually had to talk to Rachel about that. He's really getting big and obese. He's so big yesterday, all this weight he's put on, and he's a bully. So Camden says he always hits him, and I think Rachel's got that under control now because he doesn't complain about that anymore as much. You know, but all the time he used to come home, he said Camden would, or Nolan would beat him up, or Nolan would push him down or whatnot, and he'd have mysterious marks on him. I think she's got pretty much a handle on that. Whoever's doing things there now has a handle on it. You know, so.
What do you think the court should rule in this case?
Well, the ruling has been still. I wish he would have some more visitation time and time to participate with it. It would be a big help to me and a big help to him. You know, he could see his mom some more and spend some more time with her if she's willing to do it. That's on them. Like I said, I have no problem with it at all. I've always encouraged her from day one to be a co-parent. You know, I encourage her to do that. I encourage her. You know, she just got her first son when he was 6 years old, so she don't have many parenting skills. She just finally got custody of him at 6 years old when the daddy got tired of taking care of him. He gave it to her. He finally gave the kid to her. She used to couldn't go around him. I used to pick him up from daycare. She wasn't allowed to pick him up from the daycare or something. They called me sometime to go pick him up for what reason. I don't know. Right now, she has an ex-addict that lives in her house with her sister in the basement. She has another ex-alcoholic that lives with her. She has to ration 5 or 6 beers out to a day. That's all he can drink. He can't have any hard liquor. She controls his alcohol consumption.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to object. If Mr. Robinson had that information, it would have been through hearsay, unless.
It's not through hearsay. I've been there, man. I've been there. I've been in the home.
Hold on.
I've been there. I witnessed this. Man. I've been there. I've been in the home. Jeff drinks 6 beers a day and Rachel buys.
Mr. Robinson, hold on a minute. So, Ms. McCluskey, I was about to sustain your objection until Mr. Donahoe established a foundation, but Mr. Robinson has established a foundation through personal knowledge. So I need to put a pause right now. I've got a couple of adoption proceedings I've got to handle for Judge Rapley. I'm going to put you folks back in the waiting room, and as soon as I get finished with that, we'll bring you back in, okay?
All right, no problem, Your Honor.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay.